Dear students and working accountants, welcome to my Expert Tally Prime YouTube channel. My name is Babu Rao from Hyderabad. Today, in this video, we are going to learn or we are going to discuss about the rounding of the amounts in the invoices. That is in the sales voucher, that is sales invoice, and in the purchase vouchers. So there is no purchase invoice. In the purchase voucher, with the help of the sales invoice issued by our supplier. Okay. So how to round off? That is, if there is some value after the decimal point, after the decimal, there is some value that is called as decimal value. In our rupees, it is called as paise. So in our invoice or in our vouchers, if we have paise in the sales voucher or sales voucher, to sales invoice. If there is some paise, those paises are to be rounded off. It is called the round off the decimal values. Okay, that we are going to learn. Before entering into the topic, I request you, many people, they are just watching the videos and going off without subscribing to the channel. Please, everyone watching my videos, please subscribe to the channel and click the bell icon next to the subscribe button. And if you click the bell icon, you will get the one option all. Select the option all and click it so that you will get notification for all the videos which I upload in my channel. And the most important thing is, and also please share the channel, my channel with everyone. And then the most important thing is, everyone please watch every video till the end without skipping. If you skip the video in the middle, you will learn the topic up to the that point only, and the balance matter, a balanced subject or balanced topic, you cannot understand. It will be like a half knowledge. Okay, it is the best of watching. So please watch the video fully. So the video will be around 40 minutes or 45 minutes. It is less than an hour. In the colleges, when you are attending the college, we are attending every period around 45 to 50 minutes, and we will continuously we will attend 2 3 hours, 3 4 hours also, 3 4 periods also. We will not totally, it will be more than 2.5 hours. But here, that there we are learning here to learn the topic or subject matter, which is very useful, which is meant for your career. Then there is no waste of time watching the video, because why can't you watch full video by spending the time? Then only you will learn full subject and you will learn full knowledge only. Okay, now we will enter into the topic. So here, what is meant by the round off? That is, if there are some paise, in the voucher. There are some paise in the voucher I will show you. There is some paise in the voucher that I will tell later. So when there are some paise in the voucher, that paise is to be, that is paise in sense decimal value. A value after the decimal is called the decimal value. In our rupees, it is paise. So the paise we have to round off to the nearest amount. Means you can take nearest 5 rupees, nearest 10 rupees, but taking it as the nearest 1 rupee, next higher 1 rupee, or next to the previous below the previous the below 1 rupee. So the nearest 1 rupee we have to round off. If the paisa, that is, if the paisa, for example, if the paisa is 50 or more, that is decimal value is 50 or more. So next higher, you take only 1 rupee of the limit, only 1 rupee. You can take 5, 10 also, but it is not good. You have to take only 1 rupee. And 50 paisa or more, we have to round up to the next higher rupee. Make it, and if it is 49 or less than 49, from 50 next higher rupee up to 49, that is 49 or less, so to the previous lower rupee, we have to round off. For example, see 251, 51 paisa, 125 rupees, 51 paisa, or it may be any amount up to 99. So for example, if it is 99 5 paisa also, so these two are more than 50 paisa. So we have to round off to the next higher rupee, 125. Next higher rupee means it will be round off to the 126. And if it is 38 paisa or 48 paisa, paisa is 38 or 48, It is both are less than 49. Up to 49, we have to leave the remove the paise and round up to the nearest lower, the previous lower rupee. For example, in these two cases, both are less than 49 paise. So we have to round up to the lower paise 125. Here increase to next rupee 126. Now round up to the lower rupee, that is up to 125 rupees. These two are there that I will take up later. Okay. Like that we have to round now. So here we go to that. But actually, in every voucher, every voucher, that is a sales voucher or purchase voucher. See here, one sales entry will take a purchase entry. The sales entry in every sales invoice, sales voucher, it is invoice only. If you make it invoice, if you make it invoice, this is the invoice. This is the invoice. This is the invoice. So in the invoice, so in this invoice, there are three items. So the voucher, this voucher will be converted to invoice. In this case, there are three items and three types of amounts. Number one, value of the goods, the basic value of the goods. Value of the goods are stock items. Basic value of the stock item. It is also called the taxable value because on that value only, the basic value only, we calculate the tax. That is why this is also called taxable value. So the goods, any number of items. So all these items have the taxable value or the basic value of the goods. One or more items. So these are all called the first one, taxable value. This is one type of amount. The next one is on this taxable value or basic value of the goods, we calculate the tax. In the case of local state, that is the intra-state, we calculate CGST and HGST. And in the case of interstate, that is in another state, that is the sales in another state, then we calculate IGST. So the IGST or CGST and HGST, this is the second amount. First is taxable value or basic value of goods. Next, taxation, that is the GST amount. And then total amount of these both, that is taxable value and GST, the total amount will be the total invoice value. The total value is called, it is also called invoice value. So there are three items. In this case, if the amount is okay, there is no paise, only all are already rounded. All are already round figure. There is no paise. In this case, we need not do anything. So in case if there are paise, then only we have to round it off. Okay. So in this case, I will show you. For example, here 345.65. To make it, so here in this case, here the taxable value, for this taxable value, there is a decimal value. For the taxable value or the taxable basic value of the goods, there is basic decimal value, that is value after decimal is 30 paise. So in this case, this basic value of the taxable value, even there are paise, that cannot be altered, that cannot be rounded up and should not be rounded up because the quantity into multiplied with rate, then this is the amount. That amount should not be rounded up. So we should not touch that amount. And then next one is here. Next one is taxation. So GST. So IGST or CGST, HGST. If there are paisa. So actually, and some people, this tax they will round off. This tax also, some people, some account, even senior accountants also, they round off the taxes. So, but taxes, I mean CGST, HGST, GST, either it is CGST and HGST or IGST. GST also should not be rounded off. If it is rounded off, there will be a problem with the GST reports, and when you are filing the GST returns also, there will be a form. For example, here you are getting paise. So if you see the tax analysis, Alt A, so this is the summary of the tax analysis. Then Alt F1, detailed tax analysis. So it is showing 6222, 6222, and the total amount is 124.24. Only one amount is shown. It means as per calculation and as per our voucher, both are same. Okay, so that is why it is like that. But if this GST, GST and HGST or IGST, if this is rounded off, this will become, see here. So it is the prices are less than 50, that is less than 49 or less, up to 49 paise, we have to round up to the lowest rupee. That is, you will make it 22 rupees, it will become 22, it will become 62, and it will become 62, 62 rupees. That 22, 22 paise will disappear. So it will be rounded up to the lower rupee. In that case, it will be rounded off here, but it will not be rounded off here. Here, it will show as per the correct calculation, it will show with paise. And here it will show as per calculation with paise, it will show separately. And as per our transaction, means our voucher, it will show as per our voucher, rounded off amount. Two amounts it will show separately. So in such a case, there will be a difference, and GST reports and GST returns also will make a difference. So it will be a problem. That is why we should never round off this. Suppose many people are rounding off. If it is to be rounded off, how we will do is when I am creating the CGST, so here CGST, duties and taxes and all these, and at the end, just we are going off not applicable. But here, rounding method, you take it as this is called as normal rounding, 50 or more, next higher rupee, up to 49 or less. That is the low, the previous or the lower rupee. That is to be called as normal rounding. And here, upper and down, upper rounding and upper downward rounding and upward rounding means whatever the amount may be, whatever that is amount in the sense, whatever the decimal value, even 1 paise, upward rounding or downward rounding means the upward means it will be rounded up to the upper limit. That is our upper rupee. It is rounded off. So even if it is 1 paise, it will be rounded up to the next rupee. It is 80 paise, 30 paise, 40 paise. Whatever the decimal value, it will round off to the upper rupee. So it is 25 paise. It is less than 49, it is more than 50. Whatever amount is there, 25 or 80, it will round up to the next higher rupee, 253. This is upper rounding. Downward rounding means, next one is downward rounding. Downward rounding means whatever the amount, whether it is 2 paise, 10 paise, 80, 90 paise also, it will be limited and it will go to the lower 1 rupee. That is the previous lower rupee. See here, it is 2 paise or 75 paise. Whatever the amount may be, it will go to not increase. It will go to the lower rupee, previous lower rupee. That means it will go to the 252 only. This is called downward. But this upper, what we call this upward rounding and downward rounding are good. But the normal rounding, this is normal rounding is the best one. Okay, we will take only the normal rounding. Okay, now in this case, take the normal rounding. Limit will be only 1 rupee. You take 5 rupees also you can take. Even if it is 10 paise, it will round up to the high 5 rupees. So it is not good. Only next higher 1 rupee or lower 1 rupee. Take it as 1. So in this case, if you take like this, see here, from here, GST, and here, actually it is already we accepted this one. That is why it is not rounding up. And here, this we will omit. Okay, this escape and backward escape. Then that backward escape, backward, escape, and then go to the next one. And here also take this one. So here, no taxation. Now we will go to the tax. So here we take CGST, see 62 rupees, and SGST also we don't know. No SGST is not done. So SGST is not done. So for SGST also, now normal rounding 1 rupee you will take, and then it will calculate 62. So here, so it is rounded up to the nearest rupee, this taxation, but here you won't see the analysis, summary of analysis, and go to the detailed analysis. So here it is showing The as per calculation, which paisa it is showing. So as per calculation, with paisa it is 124.44. But in our this one, in our 62.62, it will be 164.24. So as per calculation, this is the amount with paisa, and as per transaction is as per our voucher is 124 without paisa. So this is a difference. If there are two amounts are shown, there is a difference. That is why we should. That's why we accept. And in the GST reports also, it will show error. It will show in the GST reports. It will show here, this one, it will show this one, and our report will show as the tax payable. Then there is a difference. And when you are filing the return also, there is a difference. That is why it should never be, it should never this amount and this amount, both should be the same. Only one amount, total amount, only one amount should be shown. That is why we should not this one. So it will round off here, but it will not round off in the analysis. That means that is the exact calculation. This is we manually rounded off. That is why we should never round off this one. Okay. So it is showing the, see here, it is rounded off. So as per calculation and as per voucher, both are different, showing error. Tax amount does not match. So we are doing like this. Okay. So this is what we are doing. But now, actually, we should never do this. So that's why what we do, we should not do this. So always take it as not applicable. Okay. Not applicable. Not applicable. This also will take as not not applicable. Okay. So in this case, so if you come here, sometimes it will not do asking to be accepted. So what we do? So this one, go to the back, accept, the list, and then this also end of list. So we'll remove both. Okay. Now we will go to the taxation. See, CG. GST, GST, see here, price are here. So we have to do always we have to round off. We should not round off this also. This taxable value, now you see the tax analysis, it is showing total one amount only. That means both are equal. This one is okay, this is actual calculation, as per calculation, and also as per our voucher also both are same. So this is what we had. Okay, like this we had to do. So yeah. So we should never, we should not be touched at all. We should not be touched. It should be as it is. And some people, they round off this also. It should not be done. But there are some many experienced accountants also, they will round off. They will not check up this. They will not check up the tax analysis. Just they will simply, they will round off. It should not be rounded off. So these two should not be rounded off. And the first one, second one. Third one is total of this is the invoice value. If it shows paise, suppose even though there are paise here, it is 30, 30, 35, 35, for example, 30 paisa, here 32 paisa, 32 paisa, 70 plus 32. So here it will be 0. So no problem. So in this case, if the invoice price is having a decimal value, only the invoice price should be the invoice price should be rounded off. Only invoice price is to be rounded off. Here, if this is the decimal value is 0.74 paise, that means more than 50. So that is to be increased to the next higher rupee. That means 74 means 26 paise. If we increase 26 paise, it will go the next higher rupee, 816 rupees. If it is less than 49, suppose it is 44, then in such case, it will go to the lower rupee, then it will be 851 rupees. So here we have to make the round off. So for that purpose, for making the round off, so just like item, just like sales, purchase, sales party, and tax accounts, we have to create an account called round off. So round off account is not there. So we have to create even before that, and we have to create this project. And if you create this account, if there is paise, we will round off. There is no paise, we will not round off. Okay. So if we all see, it is called as round off. Round off, and here it is called as indirect expenses. Indirect expenses. So indirect expenses, and then we will come here, round off indirect expenses, that's all. In the round off indirect expenses, then that's all. Then accept. So then accept. Then here, see round off created. And if you create that, and it will come to the rate field, then enter that, you go to the last field. Here, we have to give the amount manually. Increase or increase means adding. So for adding plus, we need not do plus, even if you do plus, it will not take. Okay. So what I said, 26, so 0.26, or we can do plus 0.26, plus it will not take, see, it will not take plus. So we are giving 26 paise is rounded off. Is rounded up to the highest rupee, is rounded up. If it is not there, if it is not there, so it will say 74 paise is there. So now we are rounding up to, rounding manually we are rounding up. So 0.26. So it is rounded off. It is rounded off. The next higher rupee. We are doing manually. For example, if you take this 345.22. Okay, 345.22. In this case, see here. Okay, 344. Here, 345.11. So we take it as 344.2. Okay, 344.22. Also doing the same 344.05. Now, see now in this case, so the rate is changed. So that will be as it is, and the taxation is 61.93, 61.93. Okay, now this is 872.2. So the decimal value is less than 49, say 49 or less. So in this case, come to the amount. In this case, don't take this line. In this case, what we have to do? We have to reduce 22 paisa. For reducing, definitely we have to do minus sign, minus 0.22. So, or you can take as minus 0.22. Exactly, this amount to be reduced 0.22. So it will show 0 in brackets. Yeah. Here you see it is 24 paisa. So minus 0.24. So yes, become to the least lowest rupee 814. If you don't do this, see here, what is the amount here? The amount is 10 plus 10, 24. 24 already. Okay. So if you don't do this, you go to the taxation. So here, you go to the taxation and now round off. If you go to space, the paisa is 24 less than 49. 24 paisa had reduced the previous one rupees 840. It will become 840. For that, you have to do minus 0.24. 0.24 is equal to showing minus symbol, it is rounded off. Like that, we have to do it manually. It is. So it is manual. So, for example, here, if you, this can be actually sometimes it will be a problem. Here it is 74 paisa. We have to increase. How much you have to increase? 20, that is 24. But reduce how much? Minus 0.24. We have to do. By mistake, if you don't do minus here, if you don't do minus, it will add. Like that. In calculating the difference, increase or decrease, we may commit errors. We will commit error at some time. We will commit error. Influence of that. If you make it automatic, it will calculate exactly automatic. It will calculate automatic. Okay. So in this case, see here. Here, round off we created already. Round off we created. So when I created the round off, I taken round off. So it is, we created it to make the round off manually. Just round off and the group. So then we accept it. Then if we accept, it will become manually you have to give, manually you have to enter. Okay. But if you want to make it automatic, after indirect expenses, come down, type of ledger, what are going to do? We are going to round off the invoice value. Okay. That is why there are two items in this discount that is different and invoice rounding. You select this. Invoice rounding means invoice to round up automatically. That is the meaning of this one. Type of ledger, invoice rounding. Now this is asking what is the method of rounding. So normal rounding and the limit is 1 rupee to take tax add. So automatically select this. Automatically it is waiting. See previously. So here there is no round up. After this, if we calculate round off, if we select automatically, it is collected minus 24. So for example here, so remove this and remove this, and here it is 345.65. For example, if you take 345, 345.680, for example, take like that. So here, the tax, everything have taken. And now we take round off. Take round off. See what is the round off here? So 80 paisa, less than, more than 50 paisa. It will increase to the next higher rupee. That is 20 paisa is required. It will add 20 paisa. That is right. So calculate round off. So it will add 20 paisa. For adding, plus symbol it will not do. We need not use that. Manual also we should not do. So plus symbol. Like this, it is adding. So no symbol is the minus is there. It is reducing to the next to lower rupee, and that is the previous lower rupee. It is no symbol means it is plus only. That means increase to the next higher rupee. Like that we have to do, and this is to be done always only for the invoice value. Only for the invoice value. So the tax GST, basic value or the taxable value should not be altered, and the GST also should not be altered. It should not be rounded off. It should not be rounded up. It should not be rounded off. There is no option for this. To round off the stock item value, there is no option. For stock, the tax, there is the option is there, but you should not use that because there will be a difference and there will be a problem in the tax reports. And round off, if you say, if you select this, just take indirect expense and that's all. It did not say another thing. Then it will show what you have made automatically. By manually, we have to take the rounding figure. Definitely will commit mistake. That is why we take the type of ledger, invoice rounding, and normal. The method of rounding, normal rounding, limit. We take that automatically, it will do this. Okay. This is about the sales. The same thing for purchases also. The same thing for purchases. For example, in the sales, we have taken rounded off now. So even before, without rounding, these two cases, there may be paise, there may be decimal value. But if the invoice value is already round, it is already round figure, there is no paise. Then in such a case, we should not select the round off. Even if you select the round off, it will not show any money. For example, 345 we take 346. Okay, no problem. If the amount is already round figure, only the invoice value, don't bother about these things. If these are, you have paise or not, if the invoice amount is zero, no paise, then you need not select the round figure. So only for the vouchers and invoices in which we have invoice, decimal value for the tax invoice, total invoice price, invoice value, then only you have to use this option. If there is already round figure, even then, if you use that round off, here, no amount will be selected because it's already round off. So it will not be rounded off, already round off. If there is paise, then only you automatically round off. If 20 paisa, So it will reduce the 80 paisa it is increasing 20 paisa. This 24 paisa will reduce minus 24 paisa. To do like this, this is about the rounding of labor. And in the case of sales, every time the seller who is giving, seller only will issue the invoice. The seller who is issuing the invoice, he only has to round off the amount. If they round up, we can round off. Or sometimes, in some cases, we may not round off. We can round off or may not round off. Okay. So if you don't, there are the paisa is there. Paisa is there. If you don't want to round off, then in this case, if you don't select here, don't select round off. Don't select round off. That's paisa will be as it is. So one, you can round off, otherwise you need not round off. But it's always better for all the invoices or vouchers, sales vouchers. If there are paise, then it is better always to round off that amount. If you round off this, so if you do the invoice, the buyer, he will also round off by seeing this, so he is not round off this, round off, only this. So rounded off it will take and he will enter the amount. So buyer, so how the buyer will enter? So buyer should never take it as round, round off should not be taken as, should not be taken as, automatic, you did not take. I will show you. So in this case, if you go to the seller and buyer, so we are purchasing. We are purchasing. We are purchasing. So this should not be changed. And in this case, this also should not be changed. So seller also will not change. If this is all automatically calculated. And here we should not suppose if the seller he rounded off, he has rounded off the tax also. In such a case also, we should not make it here. We should not select the rounding method, because if we select the rounding method, it will round off every invoice, that is every voucher. It will it will round off the GST. So buyers or sellers, every seller will not round off the tax. So in such case, it will not round off every invoice. That is why if the seller giving his invoice, if it's in his invoice, if you round it off, then manually you can make it by say here 134, 146, 34, less than 40. So 146, 146 if we enter, we can make it, but by a seller paper, they never round off this one. If some people round off, then we have to do this. And then after that, when you come down here, there is 68 paise is to be rounded off. When the seller is giving invoice, in that invoice, if the seller rounded off, if the seller rounded off this amount, then only we round off manually. If you take the round off, if you take the round off, second. If we take the round off here, we have to take the round off only manually, just like, because every seller in his invoice, they may not round off that one. If you take automatically, every invoice, every purchase voucher, it will automatically round off. If the invoice by seller, supplier is not rounded off, we should not round off. Okay, in such a case, we should not round off. If in this case, if it does not round off, just even if we select that, we should take as not automatic. It has to select this one. We will forget this type of lecture. Okay, then in this case, if he rounded off, how much? 68 means increase to next year will be 32 paise. 32 paise have to increase. If the seller increased, that is rounded off the figure, then we have to take 32 paise, we have to round off. Okay. If it is less paise, we have to make it as, for example, 325. 325 is 80. 325.4. I see. See, for example, this is 6 paise. So if the seller in his invoice, he rounded off this one, then only we have to round off. If he has not rounded off, so in his invoice, his amount is showing as it is. 74 paisa. Okay. It is showing as it is. He has not rounded off. Then in such a case, we should not select this option. We should not select this option. Even if we select round off, So we should not enter the amount because in the invoice given by the seller, there will be no round off figure. Okay. So in this case, just leave as it is, and the invoice will show decimal value. So only the seller will round off. If we round off, in our purchase also we have to round off manually. Because if you make it automatic, every voucher it will round off. But suppliers they may not round off. If he gives round off figure, then you have to say plus means you need not give plus 0.26. So it will be rounded up like this. So in the purchases, you should not do this. Even the person sellers, if they round off the tax also, that should be entered and here. By say 146, 146, for example. So we have entered 146, we have remove the by say. But never, mostly they will not do. And in the case of round off, this round off should be done manually because the round off, select only this one type of ledger. Invoice rounding should not be selected. If we don't select that, that's all. It will come here. And here, manually, we have to see this and we have to enter that because already in the invoice there will be round amount, the rounded up amount that will be entered from the invoice. Right. So this is about the rounding off by the seller and by the buyer. And the buyer should always, the purchaser should always round off manually. But in the case of seller, manually we can do or automatically we can do. If we do manually, sometimes in the purchaser means by you will see the invoice, their invoice, seller invoice. So by seeing that, you can enter the amount. There will be no error. But in the case of sales invoice, so when you are making the manually, so we commit mistake in calculation. So if we take automatically it will round off. Automatically it will round off without just to select round off, it will select automatically. Okay. So like this. Okay. We have to for sales, we have to take automatically. For sales, we have to take automatically. Okay. So like this, you have to do. Okay. And this one, in the purchases, here if it is already selected, round off, it is manually in this case, you don't select at all this one. You don't select it because we have made it automatic for sales. So this also, if you take, it will be rounded off. If you take rounded off, it will automatically round off the amount. That is why if the seller in his invoice, if he has rounded off, then you take the round off and it automatically it will take because there we have taken automatically. So in the sales we have taken automatically. This also will automatically take. So we will take manually again. Okay. And in the sales we have taken it automatically. So here we have take automatically in this case 1 rupee in this case. So in this case we have taken automatically. That is why in purchase also if you select round off automatically, round off automatically. So if that person has not rounded off, then we should not round off. And that is why after this one, we should not select this one. Directly select end of list. Directly select end of list. Then there is no round off. By saying shown. If in the sales invoice, if there is round off, select round off. Then that's also you take. Then select round off, and you take 26 paisa. You can do manually. Okay. If you give that, then you have to take it. Okay. And even if you take automatically also, if the seller use in his invoice, he has rounded off, then only we will have to round off. Otherwise, you will not round off. Okay. You can enter manually, or because in the sales we have taken automatically. So in this case also, automatically it will round off. If the other person rounded off, if he does not round off, then after this, just don't take round off, just take end of this. Don't take round off. Don't select round off. Okay. This is about the rounding of the sales and purchase. So like this of this one, and you will go through this video once or twice, make practice, take some here. Okay. So wish you all the best. We will meet in the next video.